By Britt Baron to discuss the Glow Season 2 premiere, debuting on Netflix in UK and Ireland. And good day to you, Britt, and tell me a bit about Glow, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling, and how did the opportunity come about for you to be cast in such a really fascinating show, highlighting the real trials and tribulations of women's wrestling?
Hi, thanks for speaking with me.
No problem.
It's based on a true story. It's based on the true story in the 1980s, the first women's wrestling league that was created. And it's a show, our show centers around 14 women, all these like misfit actresses in Los Angeles who teach themselves how to wrestle and put on a show. And I auditioned for the actual Netflix show just like any other audition. I mean, it was a really quick process. I went in with the casting director, Jen Houston, and then a week later I had a call back with the producers. And then I think I got the call Saturday night, and then we went right into training, because we actually do our own stunts, so we trained for months before we started shooting season 1.
And Britt,
It was really like any other audition. I didn't think anything of it, really. I never thought I'd actually be cast.
And Britt, tell me about it. You went in for Glow, you heard about it. Did you know much about the wrestling? Did you grow up a sort of wrestling fan? Did you look up to like some Mae Young and these wrestlers there in the 80s, or the Trish Stratuses, or the Tori Wilsons, or the Lisas? Did you know any sort of a bit about the industry before you applied for such a role?
I knew nothing. I was not allowed to watch wrestling growing up.
Right.
So I didn't even know that Glow was, I had never heard of Glow. I had never seen it. But in the email for the first audition, it said, this is inspired by a true events. And then it was like, seriously, look it up. So I YouTubed Glow, and there's so many amazing clips from the original Glow in the 80s. So I kind of had a basic understanding of what the 80s show was about. And there's also an amazing documentary that's now on Netflix about the original making of the Glow, and goes into detail about what they went through, how they created this. I mean, it's just like you have such a respect for the original girls, because what they put their bodies through is, and mentally, it's so incredible. It was so taxing. But other than that, other than YouTube clips, I did not know. I had no understanding of what wrestling was. I didn't know if it was really real or fake. I didn't understand it. So.
And Britt, you're an actress yourself, and you were saying I did some research, you got trained by the legendary Chavo Guerrero, and being an actress there, you're probably learning whole new things about learning how to fall for the cameras, how learning how to fall properly, how to sort of provoke a reaction from a crowd sort of thing. So in one sense, as being an actress, you're learning a new different type of acting on a different sort of stage, where it's more drawn out to playing to an audience as such as well. And how did you find that?
Chavo Guerrero Jr., who trains us, is one of the greatest people I have ever met. And his uncle trained the original Glow Girls. So it was a really special project for him, and just like an incredible experience. But the training it's difficult, especially season 1, because I had no basic knowledge. And, learning how to take even just a back bump where you fall onto your back, that hurts the first 15, 20 times you try it, until you kind of figure out how to do it safely. But all of those moves, without any knowledge, I mean, you hurt yourself the first few times. But Chavo's so wonderful and so supportive, and Shauna Duggins, who's also our stunt coordinator, is there, and they are just incredible. And the cast, we were all kind of in it together, so I think it made us incredibly close and supportive of one another. So it was really special to watch someone get frustrated and not be able to do a move and then finally succeed. You know, you felt like, okay, we're all a team, we're in this together. But Chavo was great at kind of teaching us, listen, you know, you were performing for the crowd, but you're also performing for the camera. The camera's going to be in the ring sometimes it's going to be a wide shot. But luckily, I come from a theater background, so I think in terms of the performing for the audience, that actually was where my strength lies. And in the audition, we had to do a wrestling monologue.
Oh, a promo,
And I kind of performed it as if I was in the ring on stage. So I actually think that was the one time I felt like, okay, I have some experience performing to a crowd, you know. So, but that's the best part about wrestling, you know, and our background people are so awesome and like super, super engaged, which always helps, you know.
And Britt, you play a character called Justine, a sort of miscat, sort of rebel trying to find her way, a punk rocker sort of thing. But interesting, doing our research, you probably had to change your own appearance. You had to sort of dye your hair, cut your hair short. You had to change, trying to mould yourself into that sort of character and find a niche where you could feel you could ideally represent her. How was that challenging for you, where you probably had to change your own appearance to sort of fit into this mould of a character?
It's kind of incredible. I had never dyed my hair before Glow. I had never cut it like that. I mean, they gave me this Joan Jett kind of inspired shaggy haircut. And, you know, I wear a ton of eyeliner, and they have me in all of these 80s punk rock T-shirts. And I think it wasn't until maybe the first day shooting the pilot that you really fully start feeling like the character, because the hair, the makeup, the costume, all the wardrobe, that is what really helps me, at least as an actor, transform and feel like, okay, now I understand who this girl really is. Because in the audition, I think it just said, you know, she's a cagey kind of teenager, and they asked us not to wear any makeup and to come in workout clothing. So I didn't really know that she was this like punk rock. I didn't know truly who Justine was until we started shooting. But the hair is crazy, because then you go to the supermarket and I still have this crazy Joan Jett shaggy haircut, which is so far from who I am that it's a weird experience while I'm shooting with that haircut. To kind of I never feel like I'm fully myself while we're shooting, because you go home and you still have that hair.
And Britt, one thing that strikes about Glow is the strong sense of feminism, the strong sense of empowerment of women, really being standout sort of four figures that young girls can aspire to. And it's a real sort of dominant female cast there. Aside from yourself, there Alison Brie is there, Beth Gilpin is there. There's real strong, and all of them are vocal in their characters. They're all looking to stand out with all their sort of different backstories being intermingled outside of the wrestling ring. And it really brings a dynamism and for back then in relation to what these sort of women wrestlers had to do outside of putting on the show. They had to live these normal lives and try and support themselves as well, where there wasn't probably that much money or glamour at the time really to make a decent living off just wrestling alone.
Oh yeah, I mean, what really happened, you know, is it was so taxing. I mean, these girls, they put their bodies through so much, and mentally they went through so much. I mean, it was kind of, if you watch the documentary, like a bit abusive in a way. I mean, the heels, you know, the bad guys were always separated from the faces, who were the good guys, which is like a Liberty Bell. And, you know, it created this, like, kind of tension outside of the ring. But it's so phenomenal to be able to work with strong females. And I mean, just as humans, Betty Gilpin, Alison Brie, you know, Brittany Young, everyone on the cast is, there's like smart, intelligent, driven women who have inspired me. And I think that it's so scary walking into a group of 15 women, because oftentimes I think we're taught, that another woman is your competition. And so there's always this, backstabbing or passive-aggressive competition. And I think with our cast, there's been none of that. And it's just really, we're so lucky to genuinely be friends, because wrestling is a super vulnerable, thing. All these, we're in these tight leotards, 80s thongs. You're very vulnerable. So it's really nice to be in a cast with a bunch of women who have your back. And they're great role models. I look up to Betty and Allie. They're my soundboards. So whenever I have questions, they're there. And I really feel fortunate. I think that they're setting a great example for the younger women, and I hope that female friendships are like my most valued friendships. And personally.
And Britt, if I can ask you, maybe shooting for a Netflix documentary, it's kind of different than shooting for your TV series, where you're shooting an episode out over a weekly basis in relation to shooting one episode. Tell me, was Glow, is it shot 5, 6, 7 episodes at a time so that people can watch the series on Netflix? Or you're probably shooting Glow season 2 now, which is going to premiere at the end of the month here in the UK and Ireland. How is it different, maybe that time scale, that sort of working week, working in a Netflix documentary compared to a TV series? And what happens in a Monday morning when you arrive in? Do you have a table read? Is it planning out the week in terms of offset location shooting? Is all that mapped out, or do you do bunch or cluster shooting of numerous episodes at particular?
Yeah, well, Glow, I was not part of the documentary. I've only been a part of the scripted series, but we don't do table reads, actually, which I kind of wish we did, but I think it's just we have such a large cast, and we shoot so quickly that there just isn't time. So the first time that you're hearing everyone else say their lines is on set.
Wow.
We shot the second season. I think we started training mid-September, and we trained again for a month, and then we started shooting mid-October and finished mid-January. So it's actually pretty quick. We shot those 10 episodes within, 3 months. But that means you're shooting every single day. You get weekends off, but it's long hours, 14, 15-hour days. And in season 2, a lot of the girls are in full wrestling hair and makeup, which takes 3-4 hours before you even get to shoot anything. So they're long, taxing days, but you feel kind of like you're in camp. It's a really wonderful place to work, but we shoot it episode by episode. We don't really switch between episodes, and I think it's usually 6 days to shoot one episode. Which doesn't seem like that much. We're moving pretty quickly, but I don't ever really know what's going to happen by the end of the season. We get the new episode scripts kind of week by week.
And
so
Brie,
it's a surprise as we're filming.
And Britt, that brings me on to my next question. We all know actors and actresses, they can portray these characters, but they're only as good as the material they're given to act out. In relation to the scripts, are you excited every week not knowing what's going to coming next for your character down the line? Is there a sense of excitement for all of you when you gather around each week to see what's going to happen next to these girls, what backstories are going to come to the forelight? Is there a sense of intrigue not knowing what's going to happen next?
Oh my gosh, I have like a huge smile on my face right now because, yes, I think every time I see an email with the new script, my stomach kind of does a little flip, and I drop whatever I'm doing. I've been in public reading it. I was at a museum one time when I got the new script, and I just ran outside, left my boyfriend, and I have to read it as quickly as I possibly can, and then I'll go back and read it on the computer. But I'm always so excited. I think all of us are, every time we get the new script, it's like we're children in a candy store. That, I can't wait to know what's going to happen next. And it's always just such an exciting surprise. But it's a challenge as an actor, I think, because it's not like a movie where you know your character's beginning, middle, and end arc. I mean, there have been so many surprises, which is exciting. But, it's challenging as an actor because you don't know what's planned. And so you can do one thing and then you read a script and go, oh, shoot, I didn't know that she was like this. Okay, we have to veer off in a certain way. But it's really exciting. I love getting the scripts. I mean, it's a fun part of shooting.
And Britt Baron, before we let you go, of two sort of questions in one, okay? First question, have you ever been to Ireland and is it on the bucket list? And second question, what would you say to all the Irish people listening in there in relation to why they should tune into Netflix and watch Glow Season 2?
Okay, sorry, what was the first question?
First question is, have you ever been to our country here in Ireland and is it on the bucket list? Do you tend to plan here to come visit here sometime in the near future? And the second question is, what would you say to all the Irish people in listening in relation to why they should watch and tune in for Glow Season 2 premiere on Netflix?
Okay. I have never been to Ireland, and I am dying to go because I have so many friends who have visited within the past 2 years, and the pictures just are breathtaking. So that is definitely on the top of my bucket list.
Yeah.
So hopefully maybe I can make a trip. It would be after we finish next season if we get one. Yeah. But and the second question, I think all of the people in Ireland should be watching because, first of all, we have Gail Rankin, who is Sheila, who's Irish, from Ireland. So support, your own. And also, it's just an incredible show. It's so funny. It's so engaging and smart. And I think moving the needle forward for equality. And we deal, especially in season 2, with a lot of topical issues, sexual harassment in the workplace, racism, and it's a really interesting season where you watch these characters kind of develop and deal with challenging issues that are in the news today. But also, it's just a fun, brilliant show that I'm so proud to be a part of, and I hope everyone watches.
Britt Baron, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you on the airways. We wish you all the best playing Justine and the upcoming premiere of Glow Season 2 on Netflix, UK and Ireland. We'll take you on your word that you'll visit our shores in the near time, sometime in the near time soon. And Britt, all the best of luck, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavours. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hope to meet you in Ireland one day.
Cheers. Thanks. Bye.